The day today, I was asked this question. I like doing these streams, answering questions live. There is a playlist with all the questions that I've been asked since I've been doing this kind of content, this sort of answering questions live. There is a playlist called Answering Questions Live, and any questions I'm asked, I'm asked loads of questions all the time, but any questions about Arsenal footballing questions, and people want my opinions on anything, I'll answer them live, and I'll hopefully get some people in the chat to contribute as well and to give their opinions. But I was asked a question after last night's game and after a fantastic performance, really, from Declan Rice. He was all over the place, all over that pitch. He scored the first goal. I mean, he could have got a second one. He missed it by a mile, really. But, regardless of that, his performances on the pitch lately have been brilliant. And I think the answer to the question, should Declan Rice be Arsenal captain? The answer is resounding yes. He'd be a much better captain than Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, okay, he's a good player, decent player, not consistent enough for me though. Is he captain material? Now, it depends how you look at captains. When you look at captains, there's some captains that are vocal, scream and shout and get everybody motivated that way. There's captains that are more quiet, more reserved, and do their talking on the pitch with lead by an example. But I don't think Martin Odegaard's really, truly, the last few weeks could profess to be any of them two. The captain, I believe this group of players need, and traditional captains at Arsenal, like your Patrick Vieira's and your Tony Adams, are vocal captains, very vocal captains. And sometimes players do need to be screamed at. Sometimes players do need to be shouted at. And I think Declan Rice will be the perfect captain for Arsenal. I think Gabriel Magalhaes as well would be a great captain choice. But for me, the answer to the question, should Declan Rice be captain, is an absolute yes. Absolutely. I'd love to know what everybody else thinks out there about this. Because I just think... he's had a few quiet games, a few dips in form, but a lot of players have dips in forms. Every player in the world has dips in form. But he's just like a maraudering midfielder, isn't he? He's all over the place. People with the arguments out there, is he a 6 or is he an 8? Is he this? Is he that? Is he defensive midfielder? Is he a box-to-box midfielder? We've argued, I've debated with other Arsenal fans about him. Arteta's trying to turn him into a Gerrard or a Lampard. Victor Esther Blocks. This no, I can't read that, mate. I don't know what language it is. Is that Spanish? But anyway, there's been arguments over whether Arteta's trying to turn him into a Frank Lampard, Stevie Gerrard start kind of player. You can see similarities between Declan Rice and them in recent games because he's got a bit of freedom. It looks to me Arteta's given him a bit more freedom in that midfield. He's not sitting as a 6 anymore. He's not actually really being just a box-to-box 8 anymore either. He's all over the place. He's playing up front. He's playing on the wings. You see him at full-back. You see him in defence, centre-half. He is all over that pitch. He's got a free rein, it seems. Scott Kirk, no, Gabriel. Oh, you prefer Gabriel to be captain. I did mention Gabriel because also he'd be a great captain as well. But I think Gabriel could be like the Tony Adams. The Tony Adams, the Sol Campbell kind of powerful centre-half captain there. But Declan Rice could be your Vieira-style captain, grabbing the ball, running down the pitch with the ball, screaming at his players, directing everybody, saying, I'm going to put it over there. He can pass the ball better than most players in that team as well. Declan Rice, look at the corners he takes. Look at how on point they are. The accuracy of his passing is second to none, mate. He's second to none, and I think he's an amazing player. I really do, and I think, a lot of people have got the jury is still out saying, we paid too much for him, 105 million, we got robbed. I don't think we have. Not in today's game. Not in today's game. How you doing? Let me get my glasses. I should start these streams with my glasses on, really, because I can't read without him. I can't see without him properly. Shrieknef. Did I say that right? How you doing? Very well, thank you. Are you an Arsenal fan? If you're an Arsenal fan, do you think Declan Rice should be captain of this football club? I was asked a question, and this stream is answering questions live, and I love to have more questions. The way I find them is I find them on comments. I find them on my other socials, and they DM me and they ask these questions, and I say right, I'll go and do a YouTube stream on that, and I come up with the title and the thumbnail, and then I'll talk about. I'll give my answer to the question, and I'll give my reasons for it. Oh, you're from India. Hot in India, isn't it? Eh? Are you an Arsenal fan as well? Arsenal fans from all over the world are welcome. Football fans from all over the world are always welcome on this channel. Always. Rice will be a good choice, but I think in terms of pecking order, it should be Gabriel. Okay. I think the opposite. I'll reverse that, Scott. I think Rice first, Gabriel second. Either one of them wouldn't be a bad backup for the other one, would it? Either one of them. So I think vice captain and captain. I think it should be taken. I know I've argued in the past about different styles of captains, and now Odegaard, he leads by example rather than vocally. I have argued that before, but I just believe that. I've sort of agree now that especially this team, it needs a vocal captain. It does need someone, because you get players that their heads go down sometimes, like your Martinelli, like your Trossard. Their heads go down a little bit, and I don't think he's powerful enough character, Odegaard, to G him up, to get him pumped up for the game again, to just try and say, look, dust yourself off, and let's get on with it, and let's go and win this game. I don't think he's got that sort of power or influence over the players, where Declan Rice would have. Big, powerful man. You can imagine that he's a personality in the changing room as well. Gabriel, big, determined defender, strong, brute, both of them. Either or of them two to be the captain. But the question I was asked, Scott, was, do I think Declan Rice should be captain? And so it's yes. If someone would have asked me if Gabriel should be captain, I probably would have said yes too. But we used to have a captain group. Do you remember that? When we had 5 captains, it'd be part of the captain group. John Collins in the chat. How you doing, sir? I always like the captain to be a defender, as they see what's happening in front of them. Of course, yeah. That's true as well. I mean, I agree with that to a certain extent as well. But what a Captain Vieira was. Remember that? He was similar to the way Declan Rice plays. He was a 6, or was he an 8? He was a good defensive midfielder, but he carried the ball well as well. Got a few goals, got involved with the game. He was great. He was fantastic, mate. He was brilliant. And I remember when he was a manager of Crystal Palace. Was it? No, a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? Yeah, he took no shit, and the whole crowd was singing Vieira, ooh, Vieira at the Emirates, singing it to Patrick Vieira, which give me goosebumps, man. Give me goosebumps. And he was the manager of Crystal Palace, come here to beat us. He came to the Emirates with his team to beat us. Absolutely, he was a fantastic player, fantastic captain as well. James Lowe in the chat, how you doing? Morning, mate. Deckers should be our striker. Well, he missed a bloody sitter, didn't he? He missed a sitter near the end of the game. He could have got 2 goals last night. Was it? I think it was Emmanuel's cross. Was it Emmanuel's cross? Cross into the box. He had a free header in the box. And he hit wide, well wide and all. It was going more directing towards the corner flag, weren't it? But anyway, I thought he was immense last night. I thought he was brilliant. In a boring shit game as well. Right, now, let's talk about the opposition. Yeah, Dynamo, Shakhtar, what was the team called? Not Shakhtar Donetsk. Oh man, I forgot the name of the fucking team. What a dickhead. Anyway, we Zagreb, Dinamo Zagreb. That's it. Thank you, James. Um, the opposition was poor, but it was boring. It was lethargic. I mean, I've done the match reaction already, but I mean, people were saying to me and all on socials about he stood out like that because of the poor opposition, but he stood out against a lot of teams. Declan Rice, he's been a shining light for us, and I think he should be considered for next season to take over the captain's armband. Absolutely. John Collins is saying, imagine how good we would be with a couple of new signings. We need two. We need two to get over this season and then go buy a couple more in the summer. I believe the striking situation, everybody's on it. If Man City have just signed Omar Mamouche, they've just signed him today. It's gone through this morning, 60 odd million. So if Man City, with all their troubles, can sign players, why can't we? Why can't we just sign? Go out and just sign them, man. Stop dilly dallying. They were so crap they had no sponsor. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, there was no sponsor on their shirt, was it? Yeah, I mean, Man City have also signed two defenders. I know they're young kids that they've signed. I don't want Kuna either. No, Kuna's not for me. He's just another Jesus, like I said before to you, Scott. He's just another Jesus, mate. He's not prolific enough in front of goal. He's not a 9. He's more of a winger, left winger, maybe a 10. But he's not for me. He's not, and he's throwing his toys out the pram at the minute at Wolves, isn't he? So he's a bit. He could be like come across as a bit of a maverick, and Arteta don't like players like that, as we all know. We are so slow at signing players. Absolutely, why? We ain't got long left. We've only got, what's the date today? The 23rd or something? I think it goes on to the 2nd or 3rd of February. So there's a week and a bit left, I think. Too much like Jesus. Absolutely, Scott. It'd be like a Jesus and Havertz problem all over again. Jesus is injured out for the season, so let's bring another player who's exactly the same as him to compete with Havertz. Not for me. No, thank you. Bring back dilly dallying, James Lau. Gyökeres. I've been advocating for him, John. We need Gyökeres. Absolutely. I will still go for Mbeumo, or even Wissa as a stopgap. I love Mbeumo. I love him. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he'd be great competition for Saka when Saka comes back fit. He plays on the right wing, cuts in on his left foot. Same style of player that Arteta loves. The inside forward, they call them. The winger, they're an inside forward. When they cut in, if they play on the right, they cut in on the left. If they play on the left, they cut in on their right. That's what an inside forward is. And that's what the players, stroke winger, inside forward. That's the player. That's what Arteta likes. And Mbeumo is exactly that. And I think it'd be a brilliant competition for Saka. And it'd be interesting to see who would play every week then, wouldn't it? I know Saka's probably a much better player, but I mean, is he going to be the same after this injury? I don't think so. Michael Owen won a Ballon d'Or before he got his hamstring injury, grade 3 or 4, whatever they call it, where the hamstring's hanging off the bone, isn't it? And Michael Owen was never the same player again. So I'm very, pessimistic about Saka's chances of being as good as he was before the injury. So Mbeumo for me would be perfect competition for him. Semenyo from Bournemouth, another good player, Scott. Doubt if Brentford would let him go. No, I don't think they let him go this window. But hopefully, it might be something to look at in the summer. With apparently Zubimendi coming in the summer as well. That is Thomas Partey's replacement, in my opinion. And Jorginho could be leaving as well because they're out of contract. I predicted Tommy will be back and be injured in a week. Yeah, Tommy Arsu, we've got to get rid of him, mate. He's too injury prone. Scott Kirk and the Princess 2 weeks. The Princess? Who's the Princess? Who are you talking about there? Sick note. Yeah, Tommy Arsu's sick note. Yeah, absolutely. Remember who's nicknamed that back in the day? Was it Darren Anderton at Spurs? I think his nickname was was sick. No, oh, Calafiore, Scott. Yeah, is that what you called him, the princess? Funny, funny. Yeah, he was on the bench last night. I think Emmanuel, when he came on, changed the game. Sterling, we've got to pack him. I know that I've heard there's something in the contract with Chelsea that we have to keep him for the full season. We can't send him back, which is a kick up the bollocks. And as I said last night as well, why loan Sterling and loan in Sterling and loan out Reece Nelson? It just made no sense to me. Sterling is lost. He's finished, mate. Like I watched him last night. He still runs around like a fairy, and he's finished. He's finished, man. He was a great player in his day, though. I've got to give him his flowers, man. He was brilliant at City. But he's gone, mate. He's gone. He's lost it, and I'm glad that Ethan, a young kid, Ethan Imanieri, is back fit because his levels above Sterling. His levels above Sterling. Ipswich levels now. Who Sterling? Yeah, I don't even think he's there, mate. Yeah, Championship level maybe. Championship level, Preston, says John. Preston, yeah. He is shit, man. Absolute shit. I don't want to see him in an Arsenal shirt again. I really don't. I just hope that Ethan can stay fit for the rest of the season. Or Celtic. Yeah, Celtic. I think, actually, as you mentioned Celtic, John, I think Tierney's on the verge of signing. I've heard this morning as well. I have heard it before, but... Well, excuse me, but I've heard it more this morning that it's come out again that, he's possibly going to be leaving this window, going back to Celtic. So that'd be a good move for him. I mean, he come on last night, he done all right. Is that the last time we've seen him? I'm a bit disappointed because I thought he was a fantastic left-back. They're only natural left-back in the squad. John Joe Shelby gone to Burnley. Another sick note. You're right, John. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, another sick note. John Joe Shelby's gone to Burnley. Yeah. Do you know what? Right, when I was managing the Simrab kids team, I've gone back into football management, by the way. I'm managing the kids team again. Well, I'm coaching, and my friend's the manager. John Joe Shelby's dad was at one of the games for the other teams, and his dad was there. Yeah, a bit flash, man. So, I didn't really like him. And John Joe Shelby, I've never really rated him. He scored a couple of good goals for Newcastle in his day, but I've never really rated him, to be fair. Absolutely not. Get out, KT. You want him to get out? Well, I'll play some football. Yeah, get him out to play some football. I would like to have seen him stay because we do need a proper left back. But Arteta likes to invert. He likes this new buzzword, inverted fullbacks, and KT don't fit the mode. He don't. So I wish him well, man. I wish him well on his way when he goes back to Celtic. I wish him all the luck in the world, man. Go and win titles with Celtic, Kieran. You know what I mean? Because it's looking unlikely that we're going to win a title this season with Arsenal. That's for sure. He was a good player a long time ago at Newcastle. Can ping a ball, but championship level now. Yeah. Are you talking about John Joe Shelby? Yeah. Arteta's way or the highway, exactly that. Iron Fist FC, says Scott. Yeah, Arteta's way or the highway. He don't like these Maverick players. He doesn't like them. They're talking about now, I'm looking at Sky Sports, obviously I ain't got the sound on. I can see Kuna with an up there, and there's an Arsenal. And Forest have come in to the equation. Forest are looking to bid about 60 million for Matthias Kuna. I mean, that'd be interesting. But if he had would he go to Forest? If he had the choice of going to Arsenal or Forest, I think he'd go to Arsenal, in all fairness. But, I mean, I don't want him at Arsenal, so let him go to Forest. Let him go. But Forest are doing really well, man. They're playing really well. You know, they've got a good team there. Gibbs White and Chris Woods is banging in the goals for them. Hudson-Odoi, they've got some good players there. They've got their defence, is it Murillo? And Aina or something? They're two centre-halves. Brilliant little players, man. I'm not into Josh Kroenke mural outside, for fuck's sake. I don't know what you mean by that, Scott. Sorry, bro. Edu's new team, Forest. Yeah, well, he's sort of head of a consortium of clubs, apparently, Edu. I don't think it's only Forest. There's a few of them involved in it, like the Red Bulls. Like Jurgen Klopp, similar to him, because he's in charge of all the Red Bulls, isn't he? Like Salzburg, Leipzig, New York. He's in charge of all them, and it might be him who's going to have the final say on Sesko leaving Leipzig this window. And he's being the former Liverpool manager. Is he going to green light that transfer for Sesko to come to Arsenal? I don't think so. If it does come down to him, he's going to say, no, I'm not having that. The geezer who does the player, did Kroenke. Oh, okay, did he? I haven't heard that. Yeah, it sounds like that, John, didn't it? No chance. No chance. Even if we put in enough money, even if we bid, I don't know if there's a release clause with Sesko, but Jurgen Klopp could still turn around and just go, nope, bang, and scupper the deal, couldn't he? Because he's in charge. He's the sporting director of everyone in Red Bull, all the teams. So, yeah, I don't think there'd be much chance of that. I think we should be looking at Gyökeres. Like, we've all been saying it. A lot of people in my chats, a lot of other channels have been advocating for just go and get Gyökeres. He ain't the same player he was when he was at Coventry. He's a much, much better player. Much better player. Scoring goals for fun, assisting. He's an unbelievable talent now. And I really do believe that he'll hit the ground running. He'll come to us and he'll hit the ground running. And he'll elevate us to that next level where we've got to go to. He will elevate us. All right. He won't be able to play in the Champions League, obviously, cup tie. But, we're just carrying on as we're going this season in the Champions League. And we'll go and win the Prem. Prem's main priority for me anyway. Premier League is the main... Champions League don't even come second. Premier League, FA Cup, then Champions League. That's the way I do it. Pedro from Fulham, do you think, Scott? No, not for me, man. No, we need a big man. We need a Gyökeres. We don't. I don't want one of them. No, I don't think so, Scott. I don't know. Not for me, mate. Not for me. I want to. Listen, we apparently pulled out the race. Thank fuck. We pulled out the race for Vlahovic. I don't want him either. He's just another Everts, Vlahovic. He's got the same statistics, roughly the same amount of goals scored and assists, goal contributions this season. Vlahovic he told us no a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago he told us no, didn't he? He knocked us back. Basically went like that, I'm going Juventus, and it ain't worked out for him, so why should we bail him out as well? Nah, not for me, man, not for me. Only as a short gap, as I don't see it going over 60. Only as a short... Scott, sorry, mate, I don't understand that again. Only as a short gap, as I don't see it going over 60. I'm not sure what you mean there, mate. Yeah, I don't want him either. Absolutely, John. Yeah, let him stay. Let him rot. Let him rot in the reserves at Juventus. Juventus don't want him. Juventus are digging their heels in as well. Because the possibility of loaning him was looked at. Apparently, this is what I've heard. The possibility we've offered to loan, and they don't want to loan him. They want to sell him outright. They just want to get rid of him. And we've pulled out of it. This is what I've heard. Don't know how true it is. It's only rumours, paper talk. Could be bullshit. We don't know. But it's just what I'm hearing. It's just what I'm seeing. I'm just talking about what I'm hearing. I don't know. I'm not involved in the club in that kind of way. I don't know the facts. But I'm just giving my opinions on what I've heard. That is all. Exactly. He did. A couple of years ago, we tried to sign him, and that's why I was saying to him, fuck him. Let him rot at Juventus. He should have come to us when we wanted you in the first place. But you said, nah, I'm going Juventus. They're a better team, whatever. I don't see us paying over 60 million for a striker. Listen, go and get Gyökeres, mate. If we put 80 million, I think it's 80 million, the release clause. If we put 80 million on the table, we'll have him tomorrow. We'll have him tomorrow. Absolutely, mate. That's all we've got to do. Why is it taking so long? We've known since Aubameyang left the club that we need a proper 9. Havertz, all right, they bought him as a midfielder anyway. They bought him as a replacement for Granit Xhaka. They didn't buy him as a 9, and they've tried him as a 9. Done all right last season. It was second half of last season when they come back from Dubai, started hitting a few goals, started playing all right, but he's not the 9. He is not the 9, mate. So we can't even say that he's tried to buy a 9 to replace Aubameyang because he didn't buy Havertz as a 9, so he hasn't bothered. They haven't bothered trying to get us a proper striker. So it's blatantly obvious, not only to Arsenal fans, but to all footballing world as a whole. It's blatantly obvious that that's what we need. I've heard Liverpool fans, Man U fans, Chelsea, Tottenham, all other fan bases talk about Arsenal's need for a striker. Chelsea need a striker as well. Nicholas Jackson's not really the one for me if I was a Chelsea fan either. United, Rasmus Højlund, he's not great. United need a striker. Man City just got to boom, Omar Moose. They've got Ireland and they go and buy another one. It's just, it just shows you the difference in mentalities of these teams and their owners and their managers. I want us to go big, but I think the Havertz money is the issue. What? Because we paid 65 million for him. You think that's in? We've got money. We've got money, Scott. All right, good night, bro. If you're up later on, the podcast is at 7:30 tonight, UK time. Good night, Scott. Time, mate. We create a lot of chances, also have lots of possession, but just don't stick the ball in the net enough. 100%. You've hit the nail on the head, John. Absolutely. That is our only problem. We're creating chances. There was someone said something yesterday, and I think I put it in a group chat. I think Arsenal in the last 4 games before last night created about 81 or 82 chances. And I think it was either only 4 of them was on target or there's only 4 goals. It was something like that. That was the stat. I can't get the stat up now because I'm on the stream. And I'm doing it on my phone. But that was the stat that I see. 81 chances created in 4 games over a 4-game period and only 4 on target or something like that, or 4 goals. Nathan in the chat, how you doing, sir? We've got Super Milk Arteta. Super Mick Arteta with a love heart. Do you rate him still? Do you think he's the right man, Nathan? I don't think he's the right man. I appreciate what he's done. I appreciate the progress. He has turned us into a title challenging team, but that's it. That's all he's done. Unless we get this striker we need this month and we go on and win the league, then I'll say he's done a good job this season. But, he has not bought a striker since he sold give away Aubameyang to Barcelona, not replaced him. And that is the biggest failure of this club. We've not been able to put the ball in the back of the net enough times. I know we scored 90-odd goals last season, all around the pitch. But can you imagine if we'd have had that centre forward as well? Can you imagine if we'd have had that centre forward as well? We wouldn't have lost some of the games that we lost, or drew some of the games that we drew. With that extra little bit of firepower up front, the central striker, we could have won a lot more games. We would have won the league. We would have won the league probably last year and the year before. Just because of that one problem, that one little thing that we couldn't get over the line. Man City got over the line because they had Haaland. They had a proper number 9 striker. They was getting goals from all over the pitch as well. But they had that number 9 as well. They had that Haaland. They had that monster. They had that striker who finishes his dinner. I know this season he's fell off a little bit. Form's only temporary though. He's going to come back the second half of the season. He'll get another 20 goals this year. Mark my words. Well, bear in mind, we was a kick away multiple times from a title. He deserves his flowers. Absolutely does deserve his flowers. I said that already. He deserves his flowers for getting us as far as he can. He's getting us as far. He's took us as far as he can, I believe. I don't think he can get us over the line. Hopefully I'm proved wrong. Hopefully may the football gods prove me wrong. Please, I want to be proved wrong. But I just think he just ain't got that je ne sais quoi just at the end. Just at the end of the season. You know, when we need that bit extra. Just hasn't got it. And you know the mistakes he's made. He's made a lot of mistakes. He's learnt on the job. Or he's trying to learn on the job, but he just can't get us over that line, which is a disappointing thing. He said they are trying. What more can you ask for, chap? They always say we're trying. Just go and put the release clause. It's not rocket science, Nath. It's not rocket science, bro. Just go and pay the release clause. Don't try and undercut. Don't try and say penny pinch. Why does it take Arsenal, the only team in the league, it takes them so long to sign players? City have signed 3 players and they're banging trouble. They've got 115 charges against them. I know they say it's difficult in the January transfer window for clubs who want to, let go of their players. Like your Yokerezes, like your Sesco's, Oshermans, whoever. But if there's release clauses in the buyout clauses, go and match it. Go and pay it. If you pay 105 million for Declan Rice, surely you can pay 80 million for Gyökeres, the hottest striker in Europe right now. It's an 80 million buyout clause. It is as easy. It's not as easy. It is as easy as that. Just pay the buyout clause. That's all you got to do. Then the club ain't got no choice. They've got to let you talk to the player and see if he wants to come. Buyout clauses, there's no factors, mate. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Teams don't want to lose their players. They don't want to lose their top players. I get all that. But there's a release clause in the contract for a reason. And it's for the exact reason what you're talking about. There's many factors and all that. Not if you meet the release clause. The club ain't got no choice then. It's out of their hands. We are missing that piece of the jigsaw. A striker. Absolutely, John. Nathan, mate, it is. It is as easy as that. It's as easy as meeting a release clause. Gyökeres, there's a release clause. 80 million. Something like that. Meet it. Don't worry that you're going to get him for 60 in the summer. Pay it now. Pay it now. Because that extra 20 million that you pay on to meet the release clause is a bit of compensation for the club. Money talks, exactly. These players have got to root up from home. They've got to... Absolutely. They've got to want to come as well. But if you put the money on the table to the club and the release clause, then you can speak to the player. And then if the player doesn't want to come, then you don't sign him. Then you try somewhere else. I've not heard anything about a release clause being met. And in fact, 9 times out of 10, Nathan, today's different to how it used to be back in the day. The clubs tap the players up before they even make an offer. I remember going mad when Ashley Cole signed for Chelsea because Chelsea, I can't remember who their football director was at the time. I can't remember his name. He was seen having dinner with him before anything come about Ashley Cole leaving Arsenal. That's called a tap-up. It's called to tap players up. Nowadays, you can speak to the agents and find out what he wants and if he wants to come before you make an offer at the club. So if Gyökeres wants to come to Arsenal, we already know about it. So then it's up to us to meet the release clause. And once the release clause is met, it'll sail through. It'll sail through. If the player wants to come, like you said, Nathan, if the player wants to come, it'll sail. He just signed the contract. He was definitely tapped up, John, weren't he? Do you remember? But then we started calling him Cashley Cole because he weren't happy with the contract. I think that dinner meeting was over the contract that Arsenal was offering Ashley Cole. And then the Chelsea representative or the sporting director, I can't remember who it was. Was it Peter Kenyon? It might have been Peter Kenyon, you know. And he said, we'll give you another 50 grand a week or something like that. That's why he got the name Cashley. These players, sorry, Nathan, we probably have. We don't know. I fully expect a forward player in before the end of the window. That's all we're asking for, Nathan, isn't it? That's all we were asking for. Give us a chance, bro. Sign a striker, right? Sign a striker this month, a proper striker. I don't want a Kuna, left winger. I don't want anybody. I want a striker. I want a player that stays in the middle, plays as a number 9. Stay up top. Stay up top. Let the rest of the team do their job behind you. You stay on side up top through the middle to get them balls, to get them through balls, to get on the end of them crosses and give us a fucking chance to win this title. Just give us a chance, bro. Sign one. Show some intent. City is showing intent to try and make a comeback. I know they've dropped off, but they've shown some intent. Signing Omar Mamouche. They've got one of the best strikers in Europe in Haaland. The best striker in Europe at the moment is Gyökeres, obviously. He's banging him. He's smashing it. But Haaland, you know, form's only temporary, mate. He's going to come back. He's going to come back with a vengeance and all. That's how Chelsea do business. Yeah, sneaky, isn't they? Sneaky. City done well last night. Yeah, well, listen. They was 2-0 up when they lost 4-2, which was fucking brilliant. Music to my ears. Music to my ears. It's United are tonight and Tottenham are tonight. The two clubs I hate the most. Hate Tottenham and I hate Man United. City, you know, there was never anything. It's only recently that, in recent years, last 10 years or so, that they've started to become a bit of an egg, a bit of a thorn in the side. But this fall from grace that they're going for at the moment, is just heaven, innit? I hate everybody. John Collins hates everybody else. But the fall from grace is, you know, what's more like entertaining. I mean, I don't want to sound like a hateful or anything like that, but what's more entertaining, what's more fun about it, is watching the meltdown of the fans. Because as you know, above themselves they become, which they was in their right, to be fair, because they done a 4P, won the top Premier League four years in a row. They become too complacent, maybe the fans, just too expectant. And since Erling Haaland said to Arteta, be humble, they just collapsed, completely capitulated, which was amazing to see. Amazing to see. Come on, Big Steve and all the other big Man City fans, absolutely meltdown. It's brilliant. Liverpool will drop points. It's not if, it's when. Yeah, Liverpool will drop points. Hang on, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. Be humble. We're asking for almost perfection. It's not easy. Not asking for perfection. We're asking for a striker, mate, just to give us a chance. Get us a striker, and then we get us a proper striker. Get us a Osherman, Gyökeres. Don't really want Sesko, but get us someone. Don't keep telling us we're linked with these players. Yeah, collapsed. I said collapsed because see that man on the wall there? That's my grandfather. That's what he used to say. When he used to say, I collapsed. I got him from the pub last night and collapsed. That's what he used to say to me, my old granddad. That's why I said that. I know you corrected me, the way I spoke there, collapsed, yeah. But I always say collapsed. Just give us a chance. It's not, I don't want perfection. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. I think Arteta's trying to score the perfect goal all the time. Walking the ball in the net. Why don't we hardly ever shoot from outside the box? I never know that. I can't get my head around that either. Have a couple of digs from outside the box. You hear the fans in the crowd start screaming, shoot, like that when they're round the edge of the box and that, but they never do. And when they do, they hit it straight at a defender. It's charged down. So, you know, for me, we need that 9, mate. We need it. We need him desperately. And listen, we've got a tough game away to Wolves on Saturday. What will be interesting there as well is if Kuna starts that game. That would be interesting. if Kuna starts that. He's apparently really pushing for an Arsenal move, but oh, excuse me, I don't want him. I don't want him. I just want a 9. I just want a 9. John, funny. Right, listen, I'm going to let you all go now. I'm going to stop boring you. I answered the question, and we've gone off on another rant about other shit. But I'll be back tonight in the chat. If you're around later on, everybody, 7:30 tonight on the podcast. James, see you later, bro. John, everybody else, Nathan, everybody, thank you for contributing. If you ain't stuck a like on it, stick a like on the video for me, bro. Arsenal taking liberties down Holloway Road last night. Yeah, was they? Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Take it easy. I'll be back 7:30 tonight for the final score podcast with Anthony and another guest. I do believe I'm getting another guest on tonight as well. Come and check that out. Check the channel out. It's there. It's scheduled. The live stream for later on tonight, 7:30. See you later.